private in the 101st lost 3 of his brothers, and he's got a ticket home.
I don't know anything about Ryan. I don't care. But if finding him so he can go home, if that earns me the right to get back to my wife, well, then that's my mission.
Hollywood motion pictures have convincingly documented the heroic efforts of American World War II veterans. Unfortunately, the silver screen has turned a blind eye towards the struggle of American servicemen captured during World War II. Dr. Lester Tenney is a World War II veteran and a survivor of the Bataan Death March. Over 27,000 American soldiers surrendered at Bataan on April 9, 1941.
As a prisoner of the Japanese, I was sent from the Philippines to Japan to become a slave for Mitsui Corporation. Mitsui Corporation literally bought me from the Japanese military as a slave would be bought.
Similar to Holocaust victims, American POWs during World War II were forced into slave labor camps that subjected them to dehumanizing torture.
They would beat us with hammers, pickaxes, chains, whatever they could get their hands on. And they would beat us anytime the Americans would win a battle. Anytime the Americans bombed Tokyo or a Japanese city, the following morning, we would find out about it. And the way we found out about it was by being beaten. We were beaten more in the coal mines than we were on the Death March. And we were beaten by the civilians that were working in the coal mine for Mitsui.
Veteran activists demand that the United States government intervene in the same capacity as they did during litigation between German companies and Holocaust survivors.
The American Legion believes that there should be a closure to this for those that are alive today, and even the families, because there were deep emotional scars on the families.
Ray Smith is the national commander of the American Legion. He supports House Resolution 1198, the Justice for United States POW Act.
It's sad to think that our government would not support this issue because certainly they deserve some compensation for what they had to endure.
Over 1,000 World War II veterans die each day, making it a race against time for prisoners of war seeking compensation for their enslavement.
What I'm seeking is an apology. What I'm seeking is for them to be able to honor me by giving me back what they've taken from me. They took my dignity every single day for 2.5 years. They never paid me for the work that I did. They had me as a slave. I want the connotation slave removed. The only way they can remove the connotation slave is by doing the things that a slave never gets. A slave never gets an apology. I want an apology. The slave is never given back his dignity. I want my dignity returned. A slave is never paid for his work. I want to be paid for the work I did. And I don't think that's too much to ask.
More than 50 years later, many World War II veterans still struggle to find closure.
No one was there to say, welcome home. No one was there to say, job well done. And our thoughts at that moment were back to that Japanese officer who stood on that box at that first camp and said, you're no good. You're lower than dogs. You're cowards. And we started to think that that's exactly what we were. And when we got on the train, we didn't even want to have the windows open. We didn't have the shades down. We pulled the shades down. We were so embarrassed to be back in the United States. That's how we were made to feel. So when you ask the question, what happened when we came home, it was a sad, sad day, believe me. Believe me.
Veteran activists, including Lester Tenney, believe that the Japanese government should be held responsible for their actions.
This is a lawsuit about responsibility. It's a lawsuit that they have got to start facing the fact that they are wrong, and they have to be responsible for what they've done. I don't care how many years ago it happened. You know, justice does not have to happen overnight. And there is no time limit for justice.
Reporting for KTVU News, I am Mohammed Nizami.